I've seen a lot of people today really upset that Imho Wallen erred on the side of caution and canceled his concert last night in Pittsburgh. So, before we get into all that, because I want to talk about it, I'm going to play his statement that he made today, because some people were making up all kinds of false information and even using ChatGPT to ask it why he canceled. Imagine that. But let's listen to his statement.
So this morning, my team walked on my bus, told me that they had been consulting with local officials and that I should cancel my show in Pittsburgh tonight. And I said, why? They said that there was going to be strong winds in the area. And I said, okay. So that's what I did. And that was the information I had in the moment. And I trusted my team. I understand that wind and whatever else hasn't gotten to Pittsburgh yet. I know it has touched some of Pennsylvania, so my heart goes out to all those affected by it. But the truth of the matter is, I have a large stage that in those conditions could become fatal to a lot of folks around it. So I did the best I could with the information I had in that moment. I've been seeing a lot of nonsense about me that is simply not true. And I just wanted to clear the air. I think my true fans know that that's not how I operate in general, but I had to say it. Y'all take care.
So at the time he made that decision, the weather was still expected to hit Pittsburgh. One storm system had already come through in the morning, and they were expecting a second one that was supposed to be a direct hit. Now, it did end up going south of Pittsburgh, but it still caused a lot of damage. But let's take a look at what was thought at the time that him and his management made the decision to cancel the concert. This was from KDKA First Alert Weather about the storms that hit first, and it said strong to severe storms expected after 2 p.m. They will move through Pittsburgh around 4 to 6 p.m. So they wanted people on alert for these possible storms. And they further went on to give an hourly forecast saying it could put a damper or will put a damper on outdoor events, along with wind gusts around 20 to 30. 9 a.m., 72 to cloudy, noon, 78 and cloudy. 3 p.m., 79 mostly cloudy, but by 6 p.m., strong storms. Okay? It says all of the ingredients are in place for severe weather, so have a backup plan in place. And KDKA also talked about over the next 24 hours, the conditions, and said damaging winds and hail are the biggest threat, but an isolated tornado can't be ruled out, meaning 1 or 2 warnings could happen for some areas. Our severe weather threat is a slight risk, which is a 2 out of 5 on the Prediction Center outlook. Now, this came out after the first round of storms. So it said round 1 of storms moved through the region with high winds, creating numerous damage reports, primarily from Pittsburgh to the south. Round 2 arrives later tonight. Scattered strong and severe thunderstorms will develop between I-80 and US 422. The line or cluster of storms will march southward, likely impacting the immediate Pittsburgh area. Damaging winds are the primary storm threats. Localized flash flooding will also be a concern. The tornado risk is low, but will still need to be monitored. And you can see the radar. Pittsburgh was expected to be hit. This is what Imho Wallen was going off of. And another headline about how damaging winds and flash flooding were the day's top storm threats. Pittsburgh, right in the middle of all that at that time. Now, of course, we know now what happened was that storm system did go south of Pittsburgh, but it affected the greater Pittsburgh area. There was severe damage 7 miles from downtown even. And in a county south of Pittsburgh, there was a funnel cloud that touched down. There were trees down, there were power lines down. 50,000 people were still without power this morning in the greater Pittsburgh area. And an hour south of Pittsburgh in Morgantown, West Virginia, 5 people were injured at a sporting event at University of West Virginia when their tent blew down the hill with people underneath it. So could you imagine 70,000 people in a stadium with lighting towers, amplifier towers, staff, crews, everything, and a tornado would have touched down that funnel cloud, or hail, because hail can hurt if you don't have cover to go to. You're talking 70,000 people in an outdoor stadium. He erred on the side of caution. Now, anyone that's a country music fan also has in the back of their mind the 2011 Indiana State Fair disaster when Sugarland was set to go on stage, when their stage blew over and killed 7 people and injured over 50. They took the wait and see approach. They didn't cancel. Their opening act went on, and they figured the storm might come through partway through their set, so then they could just pause their set if they needed to. Well, they took a direct hit with 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And if you don't remember, here's the footage from that.
Collapsed at the Indiana State Fair. The band Sugarland was about to perform last night when wind gusts, estimated at 60 to 70 miles an hour, blew through. Police and firefighters spent the night sorting through debris.
Same ones of you bitching that he canceled the concert would have been the same ones of you bitching had he waited and seen, and then let's say it shifted and came back towards Pittsburgh and he canceled at 9 at night, right before he was supposed to go on. You would have bitched that he waited too long to cancel. Or had he not canceled and then there was loss of life or injuries, you would have bitched that people got hurt and he didn't cancel. You know who you are, and you know you would have. So he can't win. He can't win. I, for one, am glad that he canceled. I don't want another incident like what happened with the Sugarland concert. He made sure his fans were safe. He made sure the staff was safe. He made sure his crew were safe. You may not like it. I've had concerts canceled before that I wanted to go to because of weather. That's just how severe weather works. And you can't predict it. Anyway, I mean, yes, meteorologists try, and yes, it did end up going south, but it could have shifted at any time. So, I think some of you that are bitching about this are the same people that the Department of Transportation has to put out warnings about not driving into standing water, because I think some of you would have tried to drive through standing water to get to the concert. Yeah, do better.